Hi, my name is Paulina. I'm a compulsive overeater. I weigh and measure my food off the gray sheet, committed to a sponsor, don't eat between meals. And it's the most important thing in my life. And all of a sudden, now that I know I'm being recorded, I thought, oh, well, I was preparing myself to really just going to be honest with all of you guys, because there's just some crap that's still in my head that I don't want to share, but I know that if I'm going to be continuing to grow in this program, to stay in this program, I can't keep giving a canned qualification. Like, oh, I came in, I found Gray Sheet, I was miserable, everything is great. It's not like that. Life, it's messy. My mind is still messy, muddy. And I still, the food is down. This past year, I guess I celebrated, I always forget how, 27 years of abstinence. So I've been abstinent a long time, but in my head, I'm not abstinent always. And I still want to eat big fruits sometimes. I mean, yesterday I ate this fruit. Anyway, I was like kind of sick a little bit all morning, and I couldn't wait to do it again. And I still have this thing in my head, this disease. But even more, I wasn't even going to share this because I feel like everybody I'm going to share and they're going to be like, oh my God, like this woman, but I'll share it. Yesterday or the day before yesterday, I found out my son told me that one of his friends just got accepted to play football at Yale. And I was, it seems so stupid to say it. I was like so envious. I was like, that was supposed to be my family. Like, I feel stupid even telling you guys this, but I don't even know that my son even wanted to go there. He wanted to play football, but I wanted to have kids who wanted that and who achieved that. And anyway, and then, I started thinking like, well, and I know the family and they're lovely. The parents are, I like them as people. They're good people too. I can't even put them down and say, well, they have bad characters. They're nice. And then my mind went like, oh, I wish I were more like the mom. Like she's like super athletic. And anyway, I was projecting all these ideas onto her, and her husband is like, okay, it was like I was back in junior high school, which was when I started. I was back in junior high school, like, oh, I want to be like her. Like, she's so pretty. She's so nice. She's so popular. She's so blah, 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 blah. And that's where my dieting and my binging started. It all started in middle school. And my head was in that same bloody place yesterday. But, okay, I could take a step back from these thoughts. And I guess this is one reason the whole 12 steps and the God thing really worked for this compulsive overeater, because I'm like, okay, Paulina, you are in the world to play the role that God assigns, not you. I had my goals and my idea of what an ideal life looked like, but God had different ideas for me. And I was really kind of able to grasp onto that, like, or that's kind of what I believe. Like I often grew up wishing. In middle school, it was very clear I wanted to be different. I wished I were different, a different person. And the weight thing, that's when I started dieting, I started binging, and then it all became, somehow in my head, it got wrapped up with the idea, well, if I lost the weight, I would be that person. Like, that is why I blamed all my problems on the weight and fantasized that my life would be perfect. I would be perfect. in my idea of what perfection was, if I lost this weight. And I was a binge starver in that fasting was my favorite thing, because it's so much easier just to not eat anything than trying to figure out things. And I became a calorie counter. So it was either really restricting calories or just, it was like pulling that rubber band back and going bing. And just my binges were like, either I was dieting or binging for years, for a good, 12 years. Anyway, I was either on a diet or kind of either going up the scale or down the scale. And my dad said, I was like a blowfish, and people would say, I've never seen anyone's weight fluctuate as much as yours, meaning mine. Weight would start to go down, and surprise, my life wasn't perfect when I would lose weight. And I would, everyone would tell me how great I looked and blah, blah, blah. And then I would sit there for 5 minutes and gain it and just start binging again. And it was so demoralizing. And some people come into the program and they feel that, oh, I'm not so sick as these people. I came into the program the opposite. I had gained and lost weight for so long, up and down, that I thought, God, I am just too broken for there's just no way. I'm just too broken. And this binging thing, I'm never really going to give it up. My goal was to just binge once a month, because if I just had this one day blowout, surrender to my gray sweatpants and curtains down, if I just had that one day, then I could kind of maintain my weight. But I needed to have that one day. And I've learned a day at a time. It's not about living in those extremes. It's about, I love the gray sheet, that color, gray. It's not black, it's not white, it's gray, which to me is such an analogy for how I want to live my life. And it's tricky, it's hard. It's, like I said, it's messy, it's muddy, it's uncomfortable sometimes, because things don't always line up perfectly, except my food. I put it on the scale 4.0. And there's the comfort in that. And there's such comfort in having the clear boundaries of my food, knowing, honest to God, I don't, how do people live without figuring out, knowing what to eat? I've gotten into oil painting, and the big question for painters is always well, how do you know when a painting is done? Which is, and there's no real answer to that. And, as one teacher said, well, paintings are never done. They're just abandoned. And I kind of always have felt like that with meals. Well, how do you know when a meal is done? I don't, well, also because of all my years of binging and starving, I lost touch. I really didn't know what it was supposed to feel like, what most people felt like to finish a meal. Okay, I'm all over the place with this qualification. I spent 6 years in regular OA, very grateful to regular OA. That's where, even though I judged everybody's outsides, when they opened their mouths, I knew I'd found my tribe. And it taught me that I'm always wrong about people, making assumptions based on what they look like on the outside. I'm always wrong. And, I still learn that on a daily basis. And I heard the 12 steps and I thought, this is how I want to live my life. And for me, it really is the way I need the steps and the whole God part as much as I need our food plan, because I have our food plan, but I still have these crazy thoughts of I should have been somewhere. I should have been that person instead of embracing who I am. And
5 more, Paulina.
5 more. Okay. And for me to stay abstinent, I have to try to cultivate what I've heard called radical self-acceptance. And I'm getting better at it. It's like that muscle. I'm getting better at it as time goes on. And I often share, when I came into Grey Sheet, I never had a pink cloud abstinence. It was never easy for me. And I was going to meetings. I was making phone calls. I was doing, and I still kept binging, picking up. And honestly, I mean, it's not much of an answer, but it wasn't, didn't need to do more. I just needed to learn to tolerate a feeling. That's what I couldn't do. I could go to a meeting and I would go to things and but once the activity stopped and I had to be with myself for I just could, honestly, I wanted to binge more times, standing on the New York, waiting for a subway in New York than I ever did in any dramatic, when somebody is dying or a horrible, when there's drama or things going on in life, I cling to my abstinence and I stay abstinent. It's kind of just the grayness of every day, standing on the subway, waiting for the subway, that I would want to go to the vending machines. Or a Friday night when I was at my goal weight in my 30s, feeling like I looked great and I didn't have a date, just this gray, I would want to eat. And it was just learning, I would make phone calls and I'm a big advocate of staying connected to the community. At the same time, I had to cultivate an ability to tolerate discomfort and not necessarily analyze and figure out what the feelings were and try to fix them, just to be with them. And today I practice yoga, and a lot of yoga, they say, my favorite teachers say it's all about breathing, slowing down, and paying attention, which is what that completely supports my absence. Breathing, slowing down, like our slogan, putting on the bedroom slippers. That has been, for me, probably the best slogan, in that being somebody who had these goals and things, every time I would get absent, I would be like, okay, I've got to make up for that lost time that I spent binging and run and crash. And in Grey Sheet, they said, nope, be where you are right now in the present, put on your bedroom slippers and chill out. And I had to at least act as if. And that's another thing that program has taught me. I can act as if. Okay, I'll wrap it up on this final note. I called I sent a text actually to the mother of the kid who's going to be playing football at Yale. And I said, I heard your son, congratulations, he's worked hard. I expressed congratulations, and I prayed for them. And you know what? It's dissipated a lot. I feel more in a place that radical self-acceptance is seeping in. So I get to it in a quicker place, but it took a little work to get there. And I still ate fruit. So, maybe I'm still using food, but breakfast is over. I have life between my meals. And oh my gosh, just like everything else in life, this qualification is kind of messy, all over the place, imperfect according to my standards. But I guess that's what Grey Sheet has taught me, that just breathe and be imperfect in this life. Just show up, open your mouth, share, participate, throw your hat in the ring, and just be be one among many, be in the community. Life is short, participate, and donate no matter what. So that's it. Thanks.